Hi, welcome to the Mixed Professional. My name is Rosemary, and today I am doing a training on how to build positive relationships in the workplace. The objective of this training is to help mixed professionals understand communication styles and promote effective communication that will help build positive relationships in the workplace. As professionals, we can provide valuable contributions to our teams by building relationships with other professionals in our workplace, which will require us to get a little bit outside of our comfort zone so we can understand the experiences, background, and knowledge of our teammates. With that being said, I believe that mixed professionals have a unique perspective that, when nurtured, can challenge stereotypes, bridge cultural gaps, and pave the way for innovative and creative ideas and processes. This is because the very existence of mixed race individuals shatters social and cultural stereotypes and expectations because we cannot fit into a standard cookie cutter box that most people are used to seeing people in. So, to dive into the training, I have 3 points that I'm going to give you, as well as some questions at the end that you could use to evaluate how you build relationships with the people in your workplace. The first point that I have is be unapologetically yourself. Mixed race individuals like myself, everything about us is intercultural. The people that we interact with, the way that we communicate, the way that we live our lives is multicultural. So, one of the things I want to talk about in this section is really about intercultural communications and how, when we show up unapologetically ourselves, it teaches the people around us how to communicate effectively and appropriately in cross-cultural environments. For example, I'm a Black and Indigenous person, and I have noticed that in the past, there were times that in Black spaces, I would shrink my indigeneity when there was limited knowledge about the Indigenous experience, and in indigenous spaces, I would shrink my Blackness when there was limited knowledge about the Black experience. And it was only when I would show up as my full self that I started to realize that in Black spaces, people were really interested in learning about my Indigenous background. And in Indigenous spaces, people were really interested in learning about my Black background. And until I showed up unapologetically myself, I wasn't able to truly make those deep connections that shared the commonalities and the differences and learn about myself on a different level. And so when you show up in the workplace unapologetically as yourself, it really does help to bridge cultural divides. It helps you understand and the people around you understand how to work with and to understand and to get to know and communicate with people from other cultures on a deeper level. The second point that I have is to take initiative. This is talking really about being intentional in how we interact with others. When you interact with your coworkers, not just on how you accomplish goals and projects, but also in a more personal level, it helps you to build relationships. In interpersonal communications, it is basically a concept that people that whose lives mutually influence each other communicate so that they can grow together. So basically, two people who can benefit from knowing each other, they communicate with each other for a specific reason. And sometimes the reason may be to understand what the other person values, what they know, how they can fit in with a team. But regardless of why and how they interact with each other, the most important thing is that they have to be intentional about doing that. In the 2011 study by Hargi, it shows that people with higher levels of interpersonal communication skills are better able to adapt to stress. They have higher satisfaction in relationships and more friends, and less depression and anxiety. As we take initiative by interacting with our teammates, we're able to get more things done because we understand the strengths of our team members. We're also able to persevere throughout crisis because we understand some of the struggles and weaknesses that our teammates have because we were intentional about building relationships. Not only that, it also helps us to work better together with our team as we work on larger scale projects with people in other departments. My third point is to be open and honest because it creates a culture of trust within our team. In the 2020 article on building trust by Chiarocha et al., it states that independent of its definition, trust is considered one of the most critical concepts that drives decision making and the establishment of relationships. Trust is so important. As you show up unapologetically, unintentionally build relationships and start to create a culture of trust within your team by being open and honest, that helps to build strong group structures. Group structures are formed by formal and informal network connections. And when we have already made good informal connections by intentionally connecting with our coworkers, it helps us to build stronger connections when we are in more formal settings. The word interdependence is a term that is used in group communications that proves that the actions of one or two group members which lead to the group not achieving its purpose affects all the team members. So how we interact, communicate, and flow with our teammates plays a huge role in our team's success and failures. And when trust isn't there, it makes it harder to communicate and leaves space for stress, fear, and low productivity. In fact, the Harvard Business Review is cited by the Physician Leadership Journal in the 2019 article Making Work Culture Matter by saying that organizations that build cultures of trust, meaning where relationships and open dialogue are common, they experience 50% greater productivity. That's a lot. And employees in workplace cultures that are driven by fear experience 70% more stress and 106% less energy at work than employees in high trust environments. Trust is so important. Trust is that thing that breaks down when somebody says something, another person miscommunicates it, and then because they did not have a trust relationship, they end up making a mistake on a project that could have been avoided if open and honest communication was there. So basically, when we are open and honest about our understandings, our interpretations, and our experiences, it helps to build trust, which helps to build stronger relationships on our team. And when we do that on an individual level, it also creates space for others on our team to be open and honest as well. So before I close out, my 3 points were to be unapologetically yourself, to take initiative, and to be open and honest. I just want to touch on the fact that as mixed professionals, we do go into different spaces where we are surrounded by people who may have no cultural background as us, some cultural, but some not the same cultural background. And far and few in between, we may find someone with the same cultural background as us. Regardless, the most important thing is that you have the power within you to create your own positive work relationships. And in doing so, it can help your team grow, and it can also help you as you grow professionally. Maybe you're in a place where you are having a hard time making connections with the people in your workspace. I have 3 questions to close out that you can ask yourself to evaluate. The first one is, am I giving people space to build trust? Second is, am I really being intentional about interacting with others? And the last question is, what have I and what can I learn about myself as I get to know people of a different background than myself? Thank you so much for watching today's training on how to build positive relationships in the workplace. I hope that you have a better understanding of how intercultural, interpersonal, and group communication styles can help promote effective communications and build positive relationships in the workplace. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you next time. Thank you.